It's 2:47 a.m. Your face is lit blue. You don't know how long you've been scrolling. The first thing you did this morning was reach for your phone. The last thing you'll do tonight is also reach for your phone. You open the app. You close it. You open it again. 3 seconds have passed. Someone you barely know is on a beach you'll never afford. Your thumb hurts, and you don't put the phone down. You bought a charger that lets you scroll while charging. You see a stranger's face and feel something. You don't know what. You laugh at a video and don't smile. You watch someone unbox a thing you don't want and watch them unbox it twice. You've seen this video before. You watch it again. You scroll past the photo your friend posted 3 times before you stop. You like it. You don't comment. You feel guilty. You compare your life to people who don't exist. You can't remember what you ate for lunch, but you can describe a creator's apartment. You search for the same person every day. You don't know why. You see a couple kiss and your chest goes hollow. You think about texting someone. You don't. The blue light has been on your face for 4 hours. Your eyes hurt. You don't stop. You fall asleep with the phone on your chest. You take 17 photos of yourself before posting one. You write a caption, rewrite it 4 times. You check the likes within 90 seconds of posting. The number is low. You feel bad. You refresh. You refresh again. You delete a post that didn't perform. You catch yourself thinking about your follower count at work. You take a photo of your food before you eat it. It's cold by the time you eat it. You crop yourself smaller in a group photo. Or larger, depending. You filter your own face. You don't recognize it. You post it anyway. You go somewhere beautiful, and you post about it before you've seen it. You compose a tweet during a real conversation. You smile in the photo while feeling nothing. You feel anxious for an hour after every post. You feel anxious for an hour before every post. You check who unfollowed you. You take it personally. You read a comment that hurts. You read it 10 times. You post a picture of the sunset. You did not watch the sunset. You think about your highlight reel before your week is over. You delete the app on a Tuesday and reinstall it on Wednesday. You screenshot someone's apartment at midnight. You don't know why. You still have the screenshot. You catch yourself reaching for the phone before you've even thought about it. You realize you opened the same app 3 times in 2 minutes. You watch yourself scroll, and you can't stop watching yourself scroll. You see your reflection in the dark phone screen. You don't like what you see. You read an article about phone addiction on your phone. You start counting your screen time. The number is worse than you thought. You notice your kid copying your scroll posture. You realize you don't remember the book you read last month. You realize you haven't read a book in 8 months. The phone is on the table. You set a screen time limit. You hit it by 11 a.m. You ignore the limit. You scroll through. You start to notice the hollow feeling has a name. You see someone genuinely happy and remember what that looked like. You notice everyone in the restaurant is on their phone. You're one of them. You think about who you were before this. You search for that person. You can't find them. You wake up and reach for the phone before the alarm finishes. You catch yourself, then keep scrolling. You start a tweet. You stop. You delete it. You feel relief, briefly. You go to bed, and the last image in your mind is a stranger's face. You move the apps off your home screen. You find them in 3 taps. You delete one app. You feel light for an hour. You reinstall it. You set the phone face down on the table at dinner. You flip it over twice during the meal. You leave the phone in another room. You walk back to get it. You make it 23 minutes. You feel proud of 23 minutes. You feel ashamed of feeling proud of 23 minutes. You delete TikTok. You reinstall it the next day. Dopamine more than the friends. You buy a book about being present. You open the book 3 times in 2 months. You prole in bed. You scroll in bed. You set the phone in the kitchen at night. You go get it at 1 a.m. You feel watched even when you put it down. You feel anxious without it. You feel anxious with it. You read about dopamine fasts. You start one. You break it by noon. You delete the apps and use the browser instead. You catch yourself making excuses for checking it. You try again the next day. You start to believe it might be possible. You don't know yet. You put the phone in a drawer for the morning. You drink your coffee without scrolling for the first time in a year. You feel weird, then bored, then okay. You notice the sound of the morning. You walk to work without earbuds and without your phone in your hand. You see a tree you've walked past every day. You see it. You make a rule: no phone at meals. You break it once. You apologize to yourself. You start asking before you post. You ask yourself what you would do if no one could see. You unfollow 50 accounts that made you feel small. You unfollow 100 more. The feed gets quieter. You feel quieter. You spend an hour reading a book, the first time in months. You notice the phone is heavier in your hand now. You don't know why. You open the app once a day. You scroll for 15 minutes. You close it without forcing yourself to. You notice the hollow feeling is smaller. You text a friend instead of checking their feed. They text back. You talk for an hour. You start to feel time again. You sleep deeper. You use the camera for the photo, not for the post. You take pictures you never share. You like them more. You open the app to find one thing. You close it when you find it. You decline an invitation that exists only online. You meet a friend in person you've only DM'd. You leave the phone in your bag for the whole dinner. You don't check it at red lights anymore. You walk through a park without taking out the phone. You stop following accounts that perform happiness. You start following 2 accounts that teach you something real. You delete a folder of saved posts you'll never read. You delete a folder of photos you'll never look at. You eat your meal warm. You watch the sunset and don't reach for the camera. You watch the next one and reach for the camera and stop yourself. You catch yourself smiling at strangers. You don't post about the smile. You feel the rhythm of a normal day return. You feel days again as days, not as content. You stop laughing at videos that aren't funny. You read the news once a day, not every 15 minutes. You feel your nervous system unclench for the first time in years. You post a photo. You don't check the likes. You forget you posted it until a friend mentions it. You message someone genuinely. You wait for the reply without checking. You leave the phone at home for a walk. You come back and there are 7 notifications. You feel nothing about them. You skim the feed for 3 minutes. You log off. You realize you've stopped comparing yourself to strangers. You realize you've stopped comparing yourself to anyone. You start writing in a notebook again. You read a long book. You finish it. You eat dinner with someone and never reach for the phone. You go a whole evening and don't think about it. You go a whole day. You don't tell anyone you went a whole day. There's no one to perform that for. You feel the weight of your own attention again. You feel time slow in a way it hasn't slowed in years. You notice your mood is steadier. You notice you sleep through the night. You notice you have ideas again. You notice you have feelings that aren't reactions. You write something just for you. You don't show anyone. You feel like yourself. The phone is a tool, nothing more. You go a week without opening the apps. You don't make it a thing. Not through any platform. You stop knowing what's trending. You feel nothing about that. You stop knowing what celebrities are doing. You feel nothing. You meet someone new and they don't ask for your handle. You don't have an answer for them anyway. Your photos are for you and the people in them. You take a beautiful trip and tell 3 people about it. You don't post a single picture. You don't think about not posting a single picture. You spend an afternoon doing nothing. You enjoy it. You stop refreshing things in your head. You notice you have an internal life again. You feel your own opinions form before anyone else weighs in. You can be alone without reaching for the phone. You can be bored without reaching for the phone. You can be sad without reaching for the phone. You can be happy without reaching for the phone. The phone serves you. You don't serve it. You forget the apps exist for hours at a time. The icon is on the 3rd home screen. You forget which folder. You haven't posted in 3 months. Nobody noticed. Your closest friends call you. The rest, you don't hear from. That's okay. You haven't seen a viral video in weeks. You don't know what you're missing because you're not missing it. You don't know who's beefing. You feel light. You don't know what the new aesthetic is. You feel light. You read 3 books a month. You go to bed when the sky goes dark. You wake when the light comes in. You eat slowly. You taste the food. You sit on a bench. You watch the world. You don't reach for anything. You feel time as days and seasons, not as feeds. You make eye contact with strangers. They make eye contact back. You hear a bird call. You stop to listen. You write letters by hand sometimes. You laugh without thinking about how it looks. You cry without thinking about how it would post. You miss the phone for 2 minutes a week. You let it pass. You don't pick it up. You don't carry the phone for hours at a time. You don't know where it is right now. You're outside. The light is gold. The wind is warm. You're talking to someone whose name you'll remember tomorrow. You're tasting the bread. The bread is good. You feel the chair beneath you. You feel the floor under your feet. You feel the air in your chest. You notice a kid laugh. You laugh too. You stop noticing time at all. You forget to check anything because there's nothing to check. You feel your face do what it does. You feel your hands rest at your sides. You're walking through a market. You're not photographing the market. You're sitting with your grandmother. You're not editing her face. You're at the edge of a lake. You're not framing the lake. You're at a wedding. You're crying. You're not posting the crying. You're at a funeral. You're holding someone. You're not narrating it. The screen has nothing on it anymore. You're not on the screen anymore. The world has color again. The world has weight again. You are the only thing on your mind, and you have no opinion about it.